What kind of documentation should I have handy to help my account when my account will do my taxes as a barber?
So as a barber, first of all, if you're doing as a self-employed, okay,
Self-employed, 1099.
as a 1099, you have to keep track of your income and your expenses. Okay, nobody's gonna do that for you. The accountant's not gonna know how much in income you made or which expenses that you had. So it's your responsibility to keep track of that. You have to think that by having those expenses handy, that's gonna save you in taxes. Okay, so do you want to just report just the income and not report any expenses because you didn't keep track of it? Yeah, you can do that if you want, but you're going to be paying a lot more in taxes. So if you want to pay more in taxes, you must keep proper control. What can you do to do that? Maybe you can open up a separate bank account, even if it's under your personal name. You're going to open up a bank account, let's say Bank of America or Chase, and this is going to be the account that you're going to be using for work. Okay, so any income that you have, you're going to deposit into that bank account. Any expenses that you have for your business, you're going to be paying using that card. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to have a formal business set up with an EIN number. You can organize yourself under your personal name as well. So you would have that separate bank account with all of those expenses there. And then what you can do, you can go through those bank statements and you can categorize those transactions to summarize it, right? So you can either hire a bookkeeper that's going to be helping you do that for you, or you can even do it yourself. You can go there through your bank statement and say, okay, so I spent this much with products this month and then this much
So
in next month.
the bookkeeper helps you organize everything,
Right.
categorize everything, right?
Right. Yep. The bookkeeper will be categorizing with the result of having an annual summary. And that's what you're going to be providing to the accountant to prepare your taxes. That annual summary is going to be including the total income that you made, the total cost with supplies, the total cost with advertising. So it's a big summary of the whole year, January through December, of those expenses. So you can certainly do that under your personal name as well, and you should be doing that so that if you ever get audited, everything is in those bank accounts. So if the IRS asks you, hey, where's the proof for this? You can pull up all of your bank statements and it's going to show there all of the expenses that you said that you had.
We'll
Wow.
be very organized.
Yeah.
One thing, when I think when we first started the business, I had zero knowledge about accounting, like zero. And I was trusting the person taking care of the business for us. And I never asked questions. I would just like, whatever, how much I'm supposed to pay. But I learned as a business owner that you should ask questions, because then even if you don't like, you don't have to be a pro, you don't need to love accounting, but
Right.
you have to have a basic knowledge because it helps you make better decisions. And then these decisions save you money on taxes, or it avoids putting you in big trouble, because you can pay penalties and fees and all. The IRS can come after you and get your assets. So I know barbers are more artistic. They like cutting hair. That's their passion.
Mhm.
But I think they should ask questions to your
Right.
accountant, right? So let's say, oh, I want to buy a car. Should I lease? Should I finance? What is the best way to handle this in talking about taxes? How can I benefit from buying a car? And I saw myself obligated to start learning, even if I don't want to be an accountant. I don't really like accounting. I don't really like taxes, but it made sense to make better decisions for our business. And I remember when I met Tico, his taxes were a mess. He would file the taxes, but he wouldn't ask questions.
Yeah.
He would just
None.
come,
Zero.
this is my bank statement, how much I'm supposed to pay. He wouldn't ask questions. And I see a lot of people doing that. Don't do that. Ask questions, right?
Of course. And you have to know that for every tax return that gets filed, you're signing it. So you're responsible for the information that's on there. Unless your account is doing something very fraudulent where they're submitting without you signing it, they're making up numbers, which doesn't happen with good professionals, right? Like, it's not something that you expect. But most of the time, you are providing the accountant the information. So you're responsible for everything that's on there. So you have to know what you're signing with any document, right? Because if you do get audited, most of the time it's going to be on you, right? So that's also important to mention, is that when you're signing a tax return, even if it's electronically, which is how it's done most of the time nowadays, you're still signing it, and you're still telling the government that that information is 100% correct. So it's really important to ask questions to know exactly what you're signing each time. And yeah, I agree with you. Most people, they hire services that they're not really good at, right? And that's with everything. I cut my hair at Invictus because I don't know how to cut my own hair, or I don't want to spend the time learning with doing that, you know? Same thing with hiring an accountant, you know? You don't have to be a pro at it, you know? I want to know, you know, which products that, you know, Chico is using, or, you know, if that razor is not going to give me an infection or something like that. And I trust that they're using, you know, that they're cleaning all of their materials. Same thing with an accountant, you know. You can ask you should be asking the questions. You don't have to know everything, but you should also ask the right questions to make sure that you're being taken care of. And part of it goes back to hiring the good professionals, that peace of mind, you know, hiring someone with the certifications, hiring someone that has their name on the line as well. You know, like, you don't want to hire someone that could be out of business next month and then you're totally responsible for it. Like, you have somebody that has, you know, been through this process, they have their name on the line.